Today on Brendan's Fabulous World of Fishing, I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite baits for largemouth bass. Good tea. Hello folks, welcome back to another episode of Brendan's Fabulous World of Fishing, and today I am outside, and let me tell you something, it is very, very chilly. It definitely feels like fall is on its way, so in the spirit of fall, I put on this flannel shirt. Alright, so today we're talking about my top 5 favorite baits for largemouth bass. Now, these are the baits that are my go-tos and the baits that I feel the most confidence in when I'm fishing. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so starting off with the plastics, probably my most favorite plastic right now is the Yum Dinger. I mean, for wacky rigs, fishing weightless, drop shots, shaky heads, whatever you want to do, this thing fits the bill. It's got an amazing action, amazing scent, amazing color, and it catches me a ton of fish. When the fishing is tough and I want to go to something really finesse and I want to catch fish, that is what I put on. And it's usually in the wacky rig, so that is probably my most favorite soft plastic. Now, my most favorite swim bait of all time has to be the Trigger X Slop Popper. This thing is amazing. I put it on the back of my swim jigs, I put it on a jig head, I put a belly weighted hook in it. This thing covers all the basics. It's got a great selection of colors, an amazing thumping, rolling action that drives bass nuts. I've caught a ton of fish with it, and definitely my favorite swim bait. Definitely my favorite swim bait, hands down. So another bait that has recently become one of my favorites is the Yum Warning Shot. This bait is amazing. I use it, you know, fishing it weightless is one of my favorite ways to do it. I'm sure you can put it on a drop shot, you can wacky rig this thing, you can put it on a shaky head. There's so many different ways to fish this bait, and it has such a natural, subtle action in the water. It is just beautiful. Again, paired with that Yum scent, it's amazing. By the way, if you haven't seen my review of this bait, click up here somewhere. I'll put a little thing. You can click on it. Here comes Johnny. Here comes Johnny. Oh my. Now, another bait I love a lot is the swim jig. I fish this all the time and it catches me a lot of fish. This is probably one of my most go-to baits when I'm fishing, you know, a place I've never fished before. I usually whip out the swim jig and it usually does fairly good for me. My favorite brand of swim jig has got to be the all-terrain skipping jig. Now, this is kind of an all-purpose jig. You can actually fish it on the bottom like a normal jig, or you can swim it, so it's a really versatile jig and it's really great. I like to pair that up with a Trigger X Slop Popper. I cut a little piece off and use that as a trailer. Those pair beautifully together. Alright, on to crankbaits. My favorite crankbait to use has got to be a square bill. I fish a lot of shallow water. I don't fish a whole lot of deep water. I usually fish ponds, and I'm usually shore fishing, so I don't usually need a really deep crankbait. And the square bill does amazing. One of my most recent favorites is this Rebel Bluegill square bill. I've been using this at local ponds, and it's done really, really well because a lot of these bass in these ponds just eat bluegill. So something that imitates a bluegill really, really well does really good. So yeah, square bill has to be probably my favorite crankbait. So there you go, guys. There are my top 5 favorite baits to use for largemouth bass. Let me know in the comments below, what are your top 5 favorite baits? As always, this is Brendan Miller, signing out. I don't know what the big deal is, but every time I make a video without showing iced tea in it, the comments explode. People are like, where's the iced tea? Why don't you have iced tea? Guys, I have to protect my pancreas. I can't drink iced tea all the time.